Here we are, day number 3, Elimination Day. My name is Jaws, joined by Rose, as always. And yeah, today is going to be a very sad day for a lot of teams and fans out there, but it's also going to be a very happy one for a lot of teams and fans out there. Of course, if you do lose, you will be going home. But if you win, you'll progress through the lower bracket. Rose, we have London and Mayhem first up.
Yeah, that's why I've got my best on, my Wednesday best. Actually, it's because I stole all the pineapples off the watch point desk.
Okay.
That's why they're gone.
You ran all the way down to Irvine. That's crazy.
And then all the way back to Philly.
All the way back to Philadelphia. That's a little insane. I believe it, though. I believe it.
I knew it.
Look, the London Spitfire, they've been looking pretty good against teams I don't think a lot of people expected them to do well against. Like, they played the San Francisco Shock yesterday, was one of their hardest matches of the season, but showed up pretty big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that they showed up pretty big is like that's an understatement. I think that London was expected to just get rolled over, and the fact that they were able to hold their own, and like Sparker had an incredible performance, like that was just so special. And I think London Spitfire fans should be very, very excited about that. And I think that's also why London Spitfire are predicted in this matchup to win so easily against Florida Mayhem, because you got to look at the flip side too. And Jaws, they don't look good. They've looked rather lackluster recently, but like this is the time to turn it around, right? Like, you're in the losers bracket, but it's not been an easy ride. They played against the Outlaws the other day. It wasn't very close at all. They're currently a 0-map wins. Yeah, it's rough, but you know, there's still bright spots for the team. Xe coming into the roster a little bit later than obviously he'd hoped, but Xe has always been a star player with incredible star power, but it's actually getting that on show and showing the other teams and showing the world what he's made of. We do have Checkmate Someone, Rupal, and Arnamo starting today. And again, Someone has also been a tank player, rather animated, of course. I think that's why a lot of people love him, is that he's so animated, which is great to see. Can they take down the London Spitfire? I don't know, Rose. It feels like they're kind of climbing Mount Everest right now. I was trying to think of a mountain in the UK, I guess. Do you have any mountains?
Yeah, we do. There's mountains bordering Wales. Snowdon.
Oh,
Snowdon.
That's pretty cool.
Snowdon? I think it's Snowdon. Yeah, I think so. I can't really remember. My English geography not great when it comes to mountain areas, I suppose. Well, there you go. Anyway, there's the London Spitfire. Backbone in the DPS to start off today. I can imagine we're going to see him a little bit on the Zen, because my God, he's looked so good, both on the Zen and on whatever DPS he plays.
Yeah, he has looked really good, and I think that's one of the reasons why London's going to be a bit more of that mountain to climb for Florida, which is, I think, surprising to a lot of people, because Xe and Hydron have been constantly towards the top of the Sojourn leaderboards, and as Sojourn has been one of the more meta picks recently, you can definitely feel the impact a hero like that can have in a match. But when you're also looking across the board at Backbone playing the May, Sparker also playing the Sojourn and having those incredible pop-off performances, I think you start to lose the edge that you would have by having such a strong Sojourn.
Well, it looks like spirits are pretty high in the London camp, and it looks like they went for a little bit of a shop too. Kind of cute little plushies.
It looked like they're bringing home some fun stuff to keep on their desks at home. Yeah,
or some gifts for the fam. All right, Lijiang Tower is our first map. Now, of course, it's something that we talked about just a second ago, Rose, and what the desk mentioned too, was that London earlier on in the season, it was like a little bit of a meme. It was like, okay, they're only playing Rhine, they're only playing this Rush, and it ended up working out really well. Then other teams started running the Rush, and then Hardy played Winston. Everybody was like, okay, so is Winston definitely not as good as his Rhine? But recently, it's been quite the opposite. Winston's been looking unreal.
Oh, absolutely. I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. Everybody looking at Hardy's Winston and going, haha, joke, Reinhardt only one trick, lol. But like, that's not true, and I think that Hadi, especially this stage, has been able to put a lot of that criticism to rest. Of course, we are on Control Center to start on Lijiang, so we're gonna see the Reinhardt on both sides of the field, but I would not count London out, especially when they are able to have that versatility of such a strong dive in their pocket as well.
It's mirror rush, though. I mean, does Mayhem want to play against the best rush team in the West right now? I'm not sure they do. Checkmate trying to find an angle on the back line. Backbone is going pretty low. He needs to heal up. Yeah, pops the ice block just in time. Checkmate still checking him, though, on the sidelines. Immortality Field's already been used from the Mayhem. Now is the chance for the Spitfire to run on forward. Checkmate goes down. No block, no Immortality Field, no pack, no health, no nothing. Same with someone just gets run over. A very early Immortality Field force from the London Spitfire. Just left Mayhem a little bit high and dry.
Well, this is a really tough position for Mayhem to be in now, too. I mean, yeah, that's a great snipe onto Backbone, and you're going to see Mayhem start moving in very quickly on that, but you can still find value as the May if you're able to get back in fast enough, and London are good at hanging on.
They're extremely good at hanging on, and I'll be hanging on to Hattie's every single word right now, although Exy snipes another one. Admiral takes a headshot, double kill for the Sojourn, but Backbone comes back from spawn, double headshot. Sparker on the side now, unleashing the overclock. Checkmate does pop the block to buy Mayhem a little bit more time on the point. They did end up finding the cap, but London Spitfire quite handily come back and find the flip.
That was really patiently done by London as well. You could see that Hadi was like, yeah, okay, like it's upsetting that we couldn't go back in and proc the overtime just a little bit longer to deny that cap, but look at how far forward they get to play now.
Nice wall. Hardy's got a shatter. Charge in from someone. Immortality Field's been used once again. Hardy's just lining this one up. Doesn't want to test it. You don't know how close someone is. We know he's 20% away from a shatter, but if he goes for one, I say that, jumps around the corner. 3 men on their back, and London Spitfire are going to wipe the Florida Mayhem. Exy gets pinned, and there we go.
What?
London continuing to hold.
Why did Exy pop the overclock though?
Good question.
It was after the Earth Shatter hit too, so it looked like it was kind of a response of Exy to use that overclock, maybe try to get a couple of picks and save the team.
Yeah.
But when you've got 3 members on their backs, oh no, and an isolated Reinhardt too.
And an isolated Checkmate. It looked like he was trying to set up for a blizzard. Shatter comes out from someone this time, but not nearly as effective as it was for the London Spitfire. Admiral saving on to that beat, knowing Florida Mayhem have to make a push onto the point. The beat eventually comes through as Florida need to be able to touch to cause OT. Unlikely to happen at this point as the London Spitfire just finding kill after kill after kill. And there you go. Round number 1 is Spitfires.
Round number 1 is also very convincing and a great example of why you don't run the rush into London Spitfire. Just don't do it. Stop. All of you. Stop. There's just no practice for it. People have actually noted this a few times, right, Jaws? That when thinking about how to prepare to play against the London Spitfire, especially being the only team right now that really runs this rush as clinically as they do, how do you actually get practice against it? Unless you're scrimming against London or you're playing them against them in an official, then you don't. But yeah, see, you see the Earth Shatter and then the overclock. I heard it. Y'all heard it now too.
Yeah, that is pretty rough. Tell you what's not so rough is a pause. Oh wow. Oh, wow, that was very well timed for myself there. I was going to say, yeah, Florida Mayhem are running Farah instead. I think looks like Florida Mayhem just need 1 minute. Don't know what the pause is for, but hopefully we'll get back into the game ASAP. In fact, it looks like they're ready already. Animo typed R, so sure. Yeah, we're good. All right, yeah, Florida Mayhem running Animo Mercy. Checkmate on the Farah Rose.
Well, I mean, you have to do something different. Obviously, the rush versus the rush doesn't work, despite kind of the classic look of Control Center being that Reinhardt rush composition for the meta, but you just can't do that against London. And so having very few avenues to be able to practice against it, I think you just have to go with something that's a little more unconventional and hope that that's going to be something that can catch this composition from London by surprise. There is a change, though, and that's going to be Sparker on the Sombra instead of the Sojourn.
Much easier to deal with someone, that's for sure. That is a very interesting place to translocate. Like, you got to be a little bit careful. Good Checkmate. Got to watch those hacks. Sparker taking 3 shots. Does he know where he went back to? He did kind of look to his right, but it was actually all the way by that mega health pack. could be quite easy to take out if Florida Mayhem manage to find him. Checkmate's on the ground again. However, the hack doesn't last all too long nowadays. And Hardy charging off the screen finds not only Exi, but RuPaul. Checkmate and someone do put themselves on the board with the London Spitfire a couple of pixels away from actually capping. It's up to someone to actually stay on the point. It's up to Checkmate to actually kill people and force the London Spitfire back. Admiral does end up going down, and Backbone without the block is easy pickings for the Mayhem. And now it's just dealing with Hardy. And there you go. Florida Mayhem are going to be able to find a cap.
Ooh, look at that too. There's some big staggers coming through as now the point being unlocked.
That was clear.
Yeah, London trying to potentially get back. Checkmate's just really doing well on this Pharah. Really nice kind of forward-thinking shots that are coming through, and so I'm really excited to see if this composition can kind of keep working for Mayhem, especially when they're able to play so much more spread out, which does make playing the composition that London want to, just running into somebody way harder. Like, how do you hit the Pharah here, except trying to send Sparker to hack it?
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. I mean, you've got EMP now, I suppose, but solo EMPing a Pharah, not the wisest normally. There's the hack. Just sliding on the roof as the thrusters come back up. It's all good, really. They do have to worry about this barrage and the mines as London head towards the white room. However, Sparker with that EMP could negate all of that. Checkmate now hearing that window coming up, but London Spitfire have already done the damage. There's a barrage in the small room, only finds one. Landon was the only person there. A fire strike always actually ends Checkmate's life, but London Spitfire taking advantage of Checkmate being on an off angle. And they end up capping the point. Nice barrage, yeah.
Oh.
True.
Well, yeah, that's nice.
I thought he was going to get dunked in the drink then. That was close.
I actually thought so too. Good to hang on. Oh, wow, look, Hadi just stole the health pack away too. Anybody that would have wanted to flank around that way.
A bit tough for London, or a bit tough for Mayhem, I should say, on the point. They've got to deal with that shatter. Quite easy kill onto someone. No barrage to really worry about, but now they've got to look towards Exi. He's already got one kill. The late beat from the London Spitfire to try and end the fight. Hadi once again finds a miracle pin. I don't know how the lad does it. Someone comes back from the spawn, kills Landon, but Admiral now revenging his support. Means London Spitfire just continue to hold. With Exi going down, there's not really too much damage coming out from someone to Checkmate to deal with Hardy on the point. Sparker trying to go for the manual hacks again, but London still in control.
Watch out for this one.
Yeah, they're in really strong control as well. I mean, Sparker's gonna have another EMP to be able to close out when we get towards that last by territory. And Checkmate was already forced to back off when the manual hack comes through.
Forcing the trap.
Oh, what?
Okay, that's a really good play by Backbone. Clearly, RuPaul did not expect someone in white room that early. Sparker does end up going down, and Immortality Field has been used by London Spitfire already. The barrage comes out, but yet again, it's a nice one. Got zero. Nice for London Spitfire, at least. Landon used the window out in the open as Checkmate is now just hounding down Hardy. London Spitfire have the EMP, but they don't have the backup to follow up. They end up foregoing the point. Hardy again finding a ridiculous pin, but gets cleaned up at the very end.
Yeah, you're going to be taking too much damage from those blasts from Checkmate. The Sphere Barrages have really been not good. Hopefully this next one that Checkmate's building up to could be a little bit better, but as it stands, Florida Mayhem, they've not been finding much value at all out of many of their ultimates. I mean, the fact that RuPaul had the Transcendence already focused. Oh my god, getting focused down now.
Solo AP. We take those every day of the week. Animo has popped the wings though, but now he has got a lot of people to res. Maybe he just goes Battle Mercy. Nope, Admiral takes him out of the sky. It's pretty easy. And just like that, in a blink of an eye, London managed to find the flip. 90% in building now.
You can see a quick panic swap too from Mayhem to go to the Tracer, the Moira, and the Lucio, trying to get back to point in time. But London really poised to take this second round in this first map.
Also available from Backbone. Overtime is ticking down. Mayhem need to touch and continue that. Checkmate so close to barrage. It's the only ultimate they have in their tank after all the swaps. The beat comes out for London Spitfire. It hits 5 and XC bites the dust. OT is still ticking through. The barrage is here. RuPaul finds 2 kills out of nowhere, so now it's a 3-on-3. RuPaul is still pretty low, but kept alive by the right click and the healing orb. Animo, however, can't put out enough healing. careful before Backbone takes care of the Moira, and now it is Hardy in a 2v1. Overtime still ticking down as Sparker comes back to the point in time to continue the OT. Hardy gets healed up once again as London Spitfire now need to come in and hit a big EMP. Someone puts up the power block and Exy comes back with a little bit of revenge onto Admiral. Now Landon's going pretty low, forced to use the lamp, but he survives and kills Checkmate. London Spitfire still on the point with an EMP and mines coming up. Mora and Mayhem have absolutely nothing to play with. It's a double EMP. RuPaul and Animo still alive, but not for long. OT ticks down, and London Spitfire will find map 1.
That was a very impressive stall from London Spitfire at the end as well to maintain control and then also get up to eventually capping that second round. I mean, that was scrappy too, but the fact that they were able to hold on long enough to be able to buy enough time for the rest of London to come back, like with the EMP, very, very impressive.
Yeah, that stall was insane. I mean, I thought RuPaul killing 2 there was enough. I mean, you have the Moira and the Lucio, you're so survivable, but didn't end up working out. That barrage from Checkmate also not helping the cause, unfortunately. They tried to make some changes, but couldn't quite find the key that fit. London Spitfire still very, very strong looking. We'll have to see what happens in map number 2. It is losers picks, so it's Florida's chance to choose. We'll see in a bit. Welcome back. Good start for London so far. 2-0 on control. Mayhem tried to change it up a little bit there, Rose, on that last round. They run the Pharah Mercy, but the barrage is hitting like zeros on carriols. Like, it's tough out here for Mayhem. They can't run the rush versus London because London known for their rush, but then they also run something like the Pharah, which is to kind of counter and, hey, you can't even touch us in the skies because you have Sombra and you have a May, but then London just run rings around the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think it's such a tough matchup for Florida because I think that they've had a couple of collaboration issues on the team. Like, the team synergy just feels like it's falling a little short, and even when you're looking at something like a rush or just even some of the ways that these ultimates were getting utilized, it felt like Florida was looking at it from an individual lens rather than the team fight as a whole. So we are going to see some swaps across the board as we look ahead into our next map. You're seeing one of those on your screen right now. We will see Sir Majed jumping into the roster here for Animo, and then we're also seeing London Spitfire making some adjustments as well.
Yes, we do. And guess who it is? It's Backbone going to support. We are going to Eichenwalde at Rose, and Backbone's Eichenwalde yesterday was just unreal. Like, his Zenyatta play was ridiculous. I kind of wish I remembered the stats, like the live stats from those games, because he was pumping out numbers.
Oh, I don't even need to know. I just want the, I have highlight reel shots like flitting through my mind now, Jaws. Like when Backbone just hit the volley straight through this crazy angle into spawn and killed somebody.
That is the classic spot. That is the classic spot. The Widow or Zen spot. You stand up there to try and get the spawn kill. It never normally works, and I say this a lot, Rose, and like those little angles. If you are right-clicking as a Zen, like in pro play, in Overwatch League play, you're like, okay, no one's going to go for those. They're too obvious. Like, people in solo queue do those all the way down to, like, you know, silver. And if you're not doing them silver, you probably should. You get some more kills and maybe some SR. But, like, to see that in pro play is like, okay. Like, it's kind of the reverse mind game. We're not going to, why would I do that? That's so silly. Like, it's so obvious. But then when it does happen, you're like, okay, well, you just kind of hit yourself in the head, you know? It makes for beautiful clips, I'll tell you that right now. We do.
It was the amusement on Backbone's face though, which made that whole clip for me. It's like as he was like chuckling to himself as this happens.
Watching London play, even though they did lose the shock the other day, they had a lot of smiles on their face. I think, especially like considering they got one map and they also did very well on the other map, so it was definitely something to be happy about. And now let's look at the Florida Mayhem, because they're also changing a couple of their players. We are seeing Sir Majed come in. We're seeing Exy and Checkmate staying in for DPS. And again, it's a team that's had a very slow start. Exy came into the roster a little bit later on, like we were mentioning before, but they've not found a single map win as of yet in the Midseason Madness. Like, claiming one on a map pick is going to be nice, but they've kind of already had those chances. And yeah, maybe they've had some tough opposition, but you need to start now. Your tournament lives are on the line in this series.
Yes, it absolutely is for both of these teams, and look, you know, Florida Mayhem definitely.
Look, you can't see the lobby chat, but but Backbone be in and with "Don't get 5-orbed, don't want to get added to the montage." Like, he is already in their head. Backbone is planting the seeds of doubt in the Florida Mayhem. You best believe they're checking every single like pixel angle that Backbone could take as a Zen.
Yeah, wait, what? Okay, Florida Mayhem must realize what's coming. They're the ones that picked Eichenwalde, okay? It's loser pick, and Florida Mayhem picked Eichenwalde. And I'm getting the I told you so prepared in case Backbone actually does hit him with a 5-orb.
I'm telling you, more for the Reaper package. I'm all for it. All right, we're just about to jump into the game. Just waiting for all the players to be ready and waiting. Looks like Hattie is ready. And I believe the Florida Mayhem are not that far off either. So, map number 2. Mayhem need to come up with something big. They did end up losing to the Houston Outlaws yesterday. Again, Outlaws being a fairly strong team right now, a bit up and down in terms of performance, but still like exceptional with players like Pelican. They got 3-0'd by them the other day, where they didn't actually go to Eichenwald, to be fair. So again, maybe changing up that, changing up the strategies going later on to the tournament. Okay, Midtown didn't work for us versus the Outlaws yesterday. We didn't even cap a point, unfortunately. You know, maybe Eichenwald is our map.
Yeah, possibly. I really do hope that this works for them. I want to see them try out something that's just a little bit different, that really allows them to synergize better than just having these individual performances and hoping that that's going to be enough to change the tides. And I think that someone's Winston is absolutely the right way to do that. And that's one of the reasons I love that Florida Mayhem actually did choose Eichenwald, because we talked about Hottie's Winston, which is going to be that flavor of composition we'll see London Spitfire set up on the defense with. But what about someone's Winston? Joss, I feel like that's been a really particular standout hero pick for that player.
Yeah, it has definitely been good. But you have to look at like Checkmate and Xe to match Sparker and Shax too. Like, if we just kind of forget about Backbone and Landon for the meantime, because we know they've both had very good performances, I think Xe, who was finding a fair few picks on the first map, like, you got to look to him again to open things up. I doubt this Widow shot hits. No, it does not. Oldest trick in the book. But Xe just needs to continue to do that, and then Mayhem need to capitalize on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been definitely, where some of that miscommunication has come through is that maybe a pick happens for Florida Mayhem and there's not really enough to be able to capitalize upon that and just continue to carve that forward. But look at how someone is able to really approach these fights with just some of that aggression, and there you go. They've got to go on this, Jaws.
Okay, there you go. That's what we wanted. Xe with a pick. Sparker cleans him up, and Hadi cleans RuPaul. So it's a 2 for 2. Someone doing a fair bit of damage, but Shax staying alive in the small corridor as a Tracer. Pretty disgusting amount of damage. Little 1v1. Shax is pretty... Well, Cheme's lost him. Hang on a second. Where's Waldo? Where's Shax? Gets the recall. I should say where's Wally, really. Well, where's Waldo's the American version. I'm sorry, Lone Spitfire.
It's okay.
Are they going to be able to touch? Maybe Shax is here. Yeah, he does. Okay, discorded. He's going to have to hit the recall at some point. There you go. But Disruptor shot in the choke point is going to be fairly nice. Stop London Spitfire from already approaching through that elbow. Nice stick by Checkmate. Finishes off Landon. And that will be the points.
There you go. This is the synergy that we wanted to see from Florida Mayhem. I love this. Someone has just been such an aggressive Winston, and you can see how much space that's really being able to create for the team. And Xe is taking full advantage of that to be able to show off why he is considered one of the best Sojourn in the West. So Florida, they've got the point unlocked, they've got this payload moving, they've got control of the high ground also, and look at Sir Majette trying to do his best at trying to 5-orb somebody.
I was about to say, yeah, he's trying to 5-orb. Doesn't need to though. There's the right click from someone. Beautiful stuff. Tank mains do have aim. They have to now with the Winston right click. Good start from the Mayhem. Wow. They not only win this fight now, Rose, they get high ground for free.
They do, and this is huge. I mean, look at this. That was such a quick fight win for them. They have so much time in the bank to be able to move this forward that they're not even worried that much about having multiple members push the payload at this point. London Spitfire have to get set up by this checkpoint, but maybe get a pick with this too?
Beautiful. Beautiful force the Transcendence, that bubble to stop the healing coming through from Sir Majette. Good stick by Shax, he's been nanoed. Sir Majette in a whole heap of trouble, does kick Shax away, forcing him to recall, and actually a nano in response. Sir Majette still going pretty low, but getting permanent pocketed by RuPaul. Hardy finishes him off with the Primal Rage, he jumps to high ground to find anybody else. RuPaul still sitting on the payload with the help of someone, but London Spitfire have the spawns, and Sparker coming back with the overclock is going to be a good point for London to push off of. They're still contesting. It looks like Florida Mayhem are happy just back up for the time being. Want to regroup as 5 and go again.
Yeah, they have to. They've got to wait for Sir Majette to come back, and so you'll see that Zenyatta finally in range to be able to provide that Orb of Harmony over to Checkmate, and so now Checkmate can go into a position to use this Pulse Bomb.
Wow, really nice check and a Checkmate there. Very good. Just force him all the way back, force that recall so he can't perma-touch the payload. Force Transcendence on Backbone there too. Not a good start, and with Hardy going down, London Spitfire in a sticky situation. Actually does fall, but with the tank and both DPS being available... Oh, okay, well, maybe not. Not both DPS anymore. Checkmate dies with Pulse, and now Sparker on the flank. RuPaul was already dead. It's just Sir Majed to deal with as London halt the Mayhem once again.
You're going to see London Spitfire have a bit of a better time defending from that bridge anyway, just because it is more defensively favored, and so they can get Sparker set up on the high ground, kind of create some of those crossfire angles. Then, of course, Shax has some great health packs to be able to play around as well. There's just so much area that Florida Mayhem are going to have to traverse, and they're going to have to start setting the pace here, especially if Shax kind of keeps getting the upper hand on the Mayhem. I mean, look at this. At least someone's able to force them back towards the point.
Yeah, this is really what you want to see from Checkmate, just perma-pressure in the payload. I mean, we saw it from Flatter the other day. You force the positioning, and if London Spitfire are too far away, you get a free cap. Ideally, Checkmate just stays around that mega health pack and then zips back up to the point. In fact, it's actually going to be someone. But with two people committed, it's a little worse, especially if you have someone committing on top of that. Like, you can't then force high ground, so ideally you just send the Tracer. But it is someone on the payload once again, trying to give his support enough time to rotate up towards the high ground. But it might be a little bit of a 2-on-2. There's the Nano. XC has popped the ultimates, but can he find too much damage? Sparker is in his sights, but he's just getting bopped around and bubbled. Completely denied by Hattie's Winston bubble and actually taken out. Both Winstons end up finding kills as Hattie is put to sleep. He's still in a primal rage, so has a lot of HP to manage. However, being in a small corridor, he is going to have to worry just a little bit, but forces the Transcendence, which is good once again from the London Spitfire, forcing the trans from Sir Majed again and again and again.
Yeah, it's been just time and time again. Sure, Sir Majid's going to be able to get the leg up onto Backbone, but I don't know if that's going to be enough, as London Spitfire can continue to turn the tide back in their own favor.
I mean, it's just, these fights are just unbelievably scrappy. 40 seconds to go. It wouldn't feel like there's been, what, like 4 minutes? Feels like there's been two like very prolonged fights. London Spitfire, they've got Transcendence coming online, they've got both DPS ults, and there's 30 seconds to go.
I mean, that's such a good point though, Joss. Like, where did the time bank go? There really hasn't been a proper reset here for either of these teams, and Florida Mayhem just kind of continue to just throw bodies at the point and hope that that's going to be enough. Looks like Checkmate can get back into a position to try to contest the payload, but that does pull Shax back into action. Yeah,
you don't win that though if you're Checkmate, you're discorded, and the other Tracer has Harmony Orb. There's just no way. Another early Transcendence forced, but this time on the side of the London Spitfire. Checkmate is contesting payload to trigger overtime as someone does join him. He's nowhere near that primal rage and is pretty low. That bubble from Hardy is absolutely massive, blocks a lot of that healing. Sparker does end up going down, but very little bodies now on the point for the Mayhem. Is going to be up to RuPaul, not the person you really want touching. And there it is. Couldn't even get there in time. Sir Majed was on a flank, a kick in frustration. And the Florida Mayhem, they're holding on the bridge.
Yeah, that's a good position for the London Spitfire. Florida Mayhem, though, I think that we have been able to see how well this Winston is utilized on a defensive angle as well. And so maybe if someone can kind of hold back a little bit more, just to be able to be a bit more reactive as a Winston in this defensive position, then maybe that will be the secret sauce that Florida Mayhem needs to be able to tie up the series. But I don't know, Jaws. London right now, they look really, really good, and they are playing as a team, and that is such a big difference.
Yeah, unfortunately we haven't had any montage moments yet from Backbone, but I'm sure we'll get them in a moment. Maybe next match, we'll see. But yeah, someone's been kind of hanging out with Checkmate, just kind of linking arms and running to the payload more often than not, and then it feels like they're not clearing high ground, is what this is screaming to me. Someone in Checkmate are just kind of so concentrated on touching the payload, you know, forcing London Spitfire's positioning, but then London like, that's fine, we can send Shax over there. If we really need to, we can send Hardy, and then someone then has to react to Mayhem's support, trying to take the high ground with XE, but then that's difficult because Hardy's in the way. Like, it does feel a little bit disjointed right now for the Mayhem.
Yeah, they don't really seem like they're all on the same page of how they want to coordinate, but... Oh.
Don't get 5-orb.
Don't get 5-orb, Backbone. You agreed in chat. Whoever gets 5-orb first loses this game.
Yikes. Yeah, I wasn't
you
quite a
missed that
5-orb,
part.
but that was a railgun to the dome. Semashev maybe trying to ego duel Backbone just a little bit there. Steps into the wrong angle and ends up going down. Huddy back on to the Reinhardt. Yeah, I mean, I was going to call it a miracle ping because he does find a lot of them, but that was a pretty easy one as they go. XE ends up falling to Sparker, second kill of the fight for the Sojourn, and London Spitfire taking this very easily. Maybe Mayhem come back, but Checkmate's already forced the recall. Yeah, there you go, he dies.
Yep. Yeah, Samajed not going to be too long for this either, and someone has got to get the heck out of here. Why is RuPaul there too?
I mean, he committed, I suppose. Okay, he's dead. He got a kill, but yeah. I guess at that point you committed. You were like, I'll just get ulted out, I suppose.
I think that that's a good example, though, of how, like, this miscommunication has kind of been coming through. Like, are you gonna go contest? Whose job is it? London Spitfire capped, and then there were still Florida Mayhem people by their spawn doors. Maybe it was the spawn camp. That was the ticket, right? Yeah.
True.
Just to be ready and prepared for the spawn camp.
Maybe a little bit too ready. Oh, wow. There's someone with a very aggressive dive. Doesn't get antied, so he is good to back off. You have to be careful about LOSing your healers when you're against a Zen, because you get blown up. Speaking of getting blown up, quite literally there. Ooh. Someone almost dies. Perfectly timed nade from RuPaul, and a couple of shots heal him all the way back up to full. Like I said, the Discord does so much work. Shouldn't be nerfed though, just saying, as a Zen player. He's going back in once again. Nano squishes Landon. Can he add Backbone to the Jar of Jam? Yes, he can. Nice double kill. Easy support cleanup. And now the London Spitfire going to have to go again. They got a little bit of progress, and they got the doors open, which is the more important thing there.
Yeah, but like, look, that's great. That is exactly the coordination we want to see. Oh, someone gets so low. So many resources have to be invested into keeping someone alive. But you can see he's already back up to full. And London Spitfire, they get to go again. Look at the way that they're playing so spread out, though. And I mean, this does allow itself way better for a composition like this, because at the end of the day, when you switch sides, you just didn't have enough point presence, I feel like, for the strategy that Mayhem was trying to go for. But this time around, yeah, you can leave your supports alone and just wreak havoc in London Spitfire's backline.
Someone using that Primal Rage pretty early. Pulse bomb from Checkmate lands onto Landon. Another Transcendence fall, or what I can only imagine was forced. He was on high ground with Exy, just to be chilling. Nice body shot to someone as the overclock comes through. Exy wins that duel quite easily with a high ground advantage. Nice little body shot onto Shax, cleaned up by Samajed. I kind of want to know what happened to Samajed's Transcendence there, whether it was forced or he's just kind of using it to help people. Backbone's been nanoed. Yeah, run, XE, run. You're 20 HP. Does he get the final orb? Oh, he does. Headshot too. That's what I'm talking about. Nano Zenyatta also scary, and so is Hardy in a small room with a Primal Rage. 3 minutes to go. Only a few meters left between match point and the London Spitfire right now.
Yeah, you've got RuPaul that just respawned, someone about to join the fray as well, but it has to be Checkmate first to touch.
Touch? Any touches? Okay.
There are touchers.
I still get scared. No touches!
Oh, there's no touches!
There are no touches. C9, yep, high fives everywhere. Yep, no touches. Miscommunication, you were talking about it, Rose. There you go.
I hate it.
No touches.
I hate it here.
They got the touch,
Stop
but
it.
then they did not retouch. Wow.
Stop! But we were so close to not having that happen.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know what? We got out of the way. It's day number 3 of the Midseason Madness. We got our third C9 of the tournament so far. We've had one every single day. No more today, okay? That's it.
Oh, man. I'm glad we caught it at the very end there. Backbone's small little sarcastic clap. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, what a way to start out the day. A C9 on Eichenwalde.
Cool.
And we're going to a very special map for the London Spitfire in just a moment. It's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar, the C9iest map that all of C9'd.
Stop.
It's stupid. We're going to go to break. We'll see you guys in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Before we get back to the game, so I just want to give a special shout out to our friends at the University of Hawaii at Manoa for being such a wonderful host to us this week. It's been a fantastic run so far, and I'm glad we get to have an event at such a wonderful place. Without the help of the university and its Esports Club, this week's global tournament would not be possible. So from all of us here at the Overwatch League, thank you so much. Yeah, from everybody. It's been great to have the players live in front of each other, which is awesome, and being able to play across the two regions as well. Like it's been great. So yeah, thank you so much for hosting us. Let's get back to the series, Rose, Mayhem and Spitfire. Yes, another C9, I know. Feels like we are cursed at this point with every C9 possible.
We are. Well, that's why they put Rose and Jack together. It's because we're the Titanic.
Oh
Get it?
my, yeah.
Hey, it's a sinking ship.
Oh man.
Sorry.
I mean,
I had to say it at least once.
yeah, that's reasonable. Reasonable. Has to be said. Backbone's got the eye mask on. Okay, took it off. It's all good. Honestly, at this point, just put it back on, bro. Just put it back on. Mayhem are going to maybe step off the payload anyway. Look, we're going over to Watch Point Gibraltar as our next map. And this was also the map that London Spitfire played, where there were just an unbelievable amount of C9s. Like, again, it does feel like we're a little bit cursed here. But I think London are going to be pretty happy with that one. That was, of course, against the Dallas Fuel. And there was 3 or 4 C9s in that series. Like, it was absurd. So hopefully we don't get more here. I know it's very painful for some people and fans, especially fans of Mayhem right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was... We're just going to focus on what's ahead, which is... hopefully a map win here for the Florida Mayhem. They're still looking for their first map win of the Midseason Madness Tournament. They do not want to go home yet, but London Spitfire, of course, are looking poised to send them home. But this next map, though, maybe. I mean, we're still going over to a very good Winston map. Winton?
Maybe some Winton.
Jump? Winton Zap?
The new one I did see, oh man, I forgot the text that goes after it, but it's like blue circle emoji, like Winston, I was going to go Winston emoji, but like gorilla emoji or something, and then the text. I thought that was very funny. I will protect you with my blue sphere. No, it is a very good Winston map. Florida Mayhem have made a small change. Arnemo's coming back in. So, yep, Brigitte makes the most sense, especially on the high ground. They're going to be on the offense first. We'll see what XT and Checkmate can do, because, Rose, they've not looked incredible. Well, XT found some nice picks, and Florida Mayhem have been able to capitalize on those things, but XT has also been kind of using ults weirdly, like when Hadi got a 3-man shadow, he used the overclock to try and turn the tide, but when it's a 3-man, it's pretty hard to do so. Checkmate's had some decent pulse bombs, or like forcing the transcendences, but it's just like the capitalization of those small advantages that Florida Mayhem are currently struggling with.
Well, I think that's the problem, is that Florida Mayhem has been using their ultimates too reactively, and so they're not getting the value that synergizes the best with their team's playstyle. Whereas if you are going to kick things off with something more aggressive, like go in with someone's Winston jump, and then try to capitalize on maybe, a sleeping Winston right there. Excellent. That's the stuff that we want. Not, oh, Shatter? Let me see if I can save my team, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up a second.
It's okay. XT Widow, very strong, very powerful. Wow. Wow. We
are cursed.
I mean, he even gave me like the comedic timing. That was very generous of you, Sparker and XT there. Thank you very much for setting that one up. What a fantastic clip. Well, they still got a lot of push here, killing Hardy a little bit ago. Can you find another shot? Nope. Good reactions there from Anime. Got to be careful though. He's on the flank.
Where is XT? Well, I think this is so smart from London too, kind of like force Mayhem to go server, and then this happens.
Yeah, then do that. Throw a big nade. Hardy jumps in. Sparker with the disruptor shot. Easy game.
Whoa.
Good start, but
Hardy didn't even get the health pack there. Can we just point out that Hardy actually didn't get the health pack? That was all off the back of landing, keeping Hardy alive.
Yeah, it doesn't need health back. When you've got an adamantium backline.
True.
Or runite backline. It's up to you. Florida Mayhem, they still got a fair amount of cart push. And at least at this point too, when the cart rounds its corner, XE can sit on the high ground. He of course does have to worry about Sparker still. No longer on the Widowmaker. Rather a short distance for a lot of the London Spitfire to cross to try and get to XE. So this makes a lot more sense. Engagement into the server room. Nice little shot onto Sparker. Disruptor shot providing a lot of cover actually. Kind of kiting Landon into the rest of his team. But the problem is Shax is already in there. Backbone gets nanoed. Backbone in the corner, still killing people. Checkmate has committed his entire self to kill Backbone with the help of someone. Luckily, the Primal Rage was in the way, otherwise Backbone probably would have cleaned up with that nano. Someone is pretty low, health pack respawning in a couple of seconds, but Sparker is there to clean up. Overclock online rather soon. Another nice kill from the Sojourn, and London Spitfire still holding the point down.
Yep. Florida really do trying their best right now. I think it's just going to be really hard to break this defensive hold that London Spitfire have. I mean, they're even getting member advantages in these fights, and Florida are still not able to convert that into progress.
Another nice start.
Hardy's just jumping is so fast.
Nice sleep. Instantly gets woken up though, but Hardy can't really do the damage and can't sustain himself for there for too long. Someone had a good amount of payload pressure. Push the payload almost to the checkpoint. A few meters to go, but now the re-engagement. Transcendence from Backbone more aggressively this time. He's going to have to do something here. That pulse bomb's big. RuPaul and Landon do end up going down, so it's the Brig versus the Zen healing matchup. Shax utilizing the pulse bomb a little bit later on in that fight, and now Sparker is all alone in the side room. This should be Florida Mayhem capping the point. Yes, it is. A very good start. I'll take Brig over Zen any day of the week in that small corridor if you've got Arnas to back you up. So a nice pulse bomb from London Spitfire. Couldn't quite save them.
Yeah, really nicely executed. Now we get a chance to see Florida Mayhem take a couple more adjustments here. And the Brig choice is very nice. I like that. I think the Zenyatta just unfortunately wasn't converting enough over for the Florida Mayhem, I think, in our last iterations of this type of composition. And so seeing the Brigitte here, which is able to kind of follow around, maybe kiting for RuPaul or just being able to go in with some of these DPS players, matters a lot more.
There's the Primal Rage.
Oh.
Wait, CCTV camera in it. There we go, nice kill. Oh, the stick, wow. Whoa, dearie me. Yep, Sparker was mid-slide when that stick happened. Unlucky landed. You can blame Sparker for that one. Florida Mayhem with a nice double kill there from Checkmate's pulse bomb. They're pushing the payload, a couple of meters to go. Oh yeah, you have to back up. Animo in a whole lot of trouble, but a nade from RuPaul keeps him in the fight. Can he finish the tracer? No, he cannot, but Checkmate kind of putting the Florida Mayhem on his back right now as they push on forwards. They're going to have to reset with Animo dying, but Checkmate is putting in Lord's work.
Yeah, Checkmate has really been carrying on this one. And I like that the pulse bombs have been maybe even not just flashy with the double pick there, but also really high value. Even if you're trying to force something out, we've seen maybe Backbone get forced into a couple of awkward Transcendence uses from Checkmate and just the backline in general. Taking their attention away is great.
Yeah, not quite a special delivery, didn't even connect. Unfortunate. Good sleep onto someone. Didn't really result in all too much as he was with the rest of his team, and now you don't have that for the new Winston who's jumping to high ground. Yeah, Landon's regretting that sleep dart, but Backbone's there to the rescue with the Transcendence. He does escape alive with Landon to now back all the way up. A late nano boost here could turn the tides of war, but that rally is going to be hard to chew through as the Florida Mayhem push on forwards. Good shot onto Shax, but they do trade their traces. It's a 4v4 with the rally on the point. XE is more than healthy with that over health, but Checkmate does end up falling meaning that pulse bomb can't be built up for this fight. London Spitfire rolling their ultimates fairly well in this engagement, and now someone's had to back up. Backbone super far forward, in fact, in the spaceship. London still controlling the high ground as the Mayhem struggle to put the payload in. There's 6 seconds to go as the London Spitfire holding down.
Yeah, look at how you have Sparker set up as well with a 100 charge shot, ready to take somebody out as soon as they touch that payload. But they have touch. There's overtime.
Yeah. Nobody get off. Nobody get off. Super glue yourself to the payload. Someone, at least. Checkmate on the flank. Backbone deals with him easily. Someone trying to punch off to the left to try and deal with somebody, but it was in vain. Pulse bomb wasn't even needed as Backbone finds yet another kill, and it's just Arnamo to keep the point alive. But it ain't gonna happen. The London Spitfire halt Mayhem before the second point.
Still a valiant effort, especially when London Spitfire looked almost unbreakable on that first point, and then Mayhem were able to get past that and then at least get towards the end of second. Well, isn't that weird? We saw a second point on Gibraltar, huh?
Yeah, it does feel a little bit weird.
It's a little weird. Anyway, what a side note. Now we get to switch sides. London don't have too far to go, but maybe Florida can finally put the pieces together to start working as a team. Those are cute.
Yeah, I've never seen those before.
Did they make those?
I don't... Maybe? Maybe?
I want a pair.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I would be surprised.
I would buy one.
They do look rather comfy.
I have like 4 Pachamaris.
Might as well. Oh, what was what was this? Oh, this is the initial push. Woo! The
Wow.
That was very well timed to survive that pulse bomb. Hardy do
That was incredible.
Yeah, Hardy Winston, extremely strong. He's looking good. I mean, he's got 30% of his team's damage right now. Someone actually on the other side has got 29%, so the tank's doing a whole lot of work. It is Checkmate finding a lot of the final blows, but cannot underestimate the damage from the Winstons.
I like all these these cheeky start strategies that we see. We saw this from Florida Mayhem on their attack push as well, but the quick Roadhog pick just to give Roadhog like an extra 10 seconds of playtime every map, but also to see if he gets a cheeky hook combo. Because boy, would that be devastating. Yeah,
well, you've seen that once already before. Never again. These things happen once in a blue moon in the Overwatch League. Thank God we at least saw it once. Oh, what a shot. Wow. Yeah, this is what you really want to see from Exy, especially on the Widowmaker. This is Florida Mayhem's ticket right now. Again, I did it again. Gosh darn it, John! Stop talking! Okay. Stop talking! Sparker clearly listening to caster comms right now. Ends Exy's live pretty quick. Yep. Now we're going to see the payload get moved under the car wash. Hotty's going to start pulling people off of the high ground. But don't all go into the same tiny room. Hotty's almost got Primal Rage. Yeah, he's built it up so fast. 75%. Someone is almost equal that. Backbone does end up going down. Nice executed dive by someone and Checkmate there. Yeah, this is where Florida Mayhem look to perform their best. I mean, I think that this is the... Okay, Checkmate used a pulse bomb. Don't know how much I agree with that one there. What I was going to say is that I think this speaks better to Florida Mayhem's playstyle of allowing some of these more hero plays to come through. Yeah, when they come through. Surprise, I'm back! Jumps down, here's the Primal Rage, jumps straight back up again. Trying to kill the bricks, pretty hard, especially when you have a RuPaul right next to him, even with a nano boost. If you can force that nano, that would be sick, but doesn't end up working out. In fact, just feeds a lot of ult charge to the Brigitte. Body shot with the nano, instantly ending a Tracer's life there. Sparker on the point, but someone actually gets nanoed and cleans up 3 people. Mayhem with a fantastic start to their defense. With 1 minute and 40 seconds to go, Rose, it is Watch Point Gibraltar first. Tough to complete, but they're looking strong. They've got that rally for the next fight.
Yeah, this is amazing. Especially if Florida can navigate this next fight maybe towards server, where that rally could be a bit more effective for everybody, then Florida could definitely keep up with this defensive hold. XE doesn't want to get crunched here by Hottie's Winston, or woohoo, or by Shax, I guess.
I mean, he's been crunched a couple of times in that position. He got out this time, though. Discorded a couple of shots from Landon, everybody else following up with damage. Oh, what a shot! Those shots are tough to hit. Headshot straight below you. Incredibly difficult. Okay, does Landon Spitfire want to go again? Potentially, yeah. Looks like Hattie's backing off. He was purpled. Oh, what a shot. He does trade. It isn't the worst. Widow's effective range is pretty long, so you can get back to the point or get back to an effective range pretty quickly. However, Hardy is saying it's go time. He's getting body blocked. In fact, perma blocked. Couldn't get out of that small room. Was hoping he built up that primal rage, and no one was going to fall on the side of the Mayhem. There's that rally going on. All right, 30 seconds to go, and now checkmate clean in house. Sparker does kill him, but again, Tracer very quick back to the point. London Spitfire, they got ults, but can they get this first point?
Well, the biggest thing that London Spitfire can do here is just go forward, make sure that they are able to get the overtime activated on the cart. You can just go under car wash while you see Florida keep them busy, and then as soon as they jump down, pop the overclock here when Sparker feels like they're ready to go. What
a nade by RuPaul, and Nano onto someone, a nade onto Landon. Easy game. Now the primal rage is used. Everybody's in a small room. No way you can escape. You got no heals. It's going to be a triple kill for someone. It looks like it. There it is. The London Spitfire with 2 people left. Landon's coming back, and Hattie is trapped in that mega health pack room. He's got the health back, but he ain't got a hope in touching that point. The Florida Mayhem setting themselves up in this series. Stop that 3-0. London Spitfire still on match point, but signs of life from the Mayhem now.
Yeah, that looked great. That absolutely looked great. And you know, again, it speaks to the ability for XE to maybe play a little bit more of like a solo hero carry, and then you also get a chance to synergize with 2 of the kind of more important sustainable pieces with the Winston and the Tracer. And so it all just kind of comes together in a composition like this. I'd like to see more of this if they are able to as we look ahead to push as our next map type.
Yep. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, someone on checkmate looking great on the dives. Communication cleaned up for sure. We're going to Colosseo as our next map. We'll see you after this. The final week before the mid-season madness kicks off.
Gaga now taken down. Lee Jong finding that kill, tries to stay alive, and Lee will finally finish him off with that rail. Jinmu 20 HP in a dream, dashing and ducking around. Somehow still has not died. He kills them both. What just happened on screen?
Way. There's no way.
Jinmu had no HP.
He knows.
1v2, and somehow he kills them both, and that's enough for them to get the cap.
Here we go.
Thank you, observers.
What? They just don't hit him. He's on
15
HP.
He just
completely demolishes them. Wow.
Jinmu he just neo'd out. He just neo'd out of control. He just dodged every shot.
I think they're getting ready for it as well. As you can see, Pelicans are trying to get the dash reset up and running.
Okay, he's got dash. He's calling for it. Nano, Blade, straight to the back. The Transcendence not enough to save Victoria. The slash and then dash kills Punk too. What a nade from Iris. That does absolutely nothing when Pelican's in your face. A 5 kill for the Genji. And that's the Pelican we know and love.
Feels like, yeah, he might actually.
Pushed out.
Leave has to go as well. Leave has to pop ult. Surely.
He gets whip shot away, pops the Transcendence, just keeps everybody alive here for the time being. 10% left to go. Leon Lee Jae gonna fall. Izayaki as well. Eliminated the overclock. Finds the elimination. Leave. Trying to go on the hook. Finds Spletta. Gets the hit. Hope is taken down. And they're gonna make it happen. The full hold. Fate knows it's over. He just sits still. 92.4%. Leave playing off the back of Monk's contest. They make it work.
That's your MVP from 2021, baby. Infrasight for Infrasight here. Bigger difference maker could actually be the Dragon Strike. That will force Fusion off the payload, and that could be a cap. But Fitz is dead. Wait a minute, what?
2 great shots from MN3. He gets a third. He's looking for some more. Immortality Field buys a little bit of time, but what an absolute incredible volley from MN3. Shutting them down one after the other.
Fitz taking a bunch of damage straight up.
And he's dead. They get the alley-oop. MN3 able to find the head. Just take him out. Dynamite not at the ready, otherwise you can try to flush these guys out from the back of the...
Dude. It's like we never left Circuit Royale. We're still there. We're still on Circuit Royale. We haven't left.
This man is absolutely insane today. What on God's green earth is going on? What did they feed him today? Is this the work of the cheesesteaks? I know they took him to the cheesesteak place recently. Is this the secret formula?
Blizzard from the back. Do they expect it? Slightly. Crimzo pops the Transcendence. Victoria's in a little bit of trouble, but with the Immortality Field, he should be good. Piggy has also been frozen, but saved with an Immortality from Iris. Merit. What? Wait! Was that a triple collapse?
Where did that come from?
I think that was a triple kill with 1 railgun. I could be wrong. That was a triple kill.
Replay.
No
did it just go
way
through
did he
all
line
of
that
them?
one up.
Oh my god. Oh, they were standing in a straight line.
Best Sojourn player in the league, stats-wise. Hey, add that one to the replay package.
Oh yeah.
Merrick comes out with a first triple kill with the with the overclock in the league. That was just absurd. Welcome back. Mayhem have found a map. They took watch point Gibraltar, as now is London's turn to pick as we head to push. And I mentioned we're going to Coliseum. What a surprise. London picks a map that they can play Rush on. Admiral's back in supports. Backbone swapping over to DPS. It's looking all fine and dandy in the London camp.
Well, I mean, we expected London Spitfire to play the Coliseum, not just because of the Reinhardt, but also because if you look at some of London Spitfire's past performances on this map, they have put on clinics for everybody when it comes to some of the angles and the positioning that you can take on Coliseum and try to find these really fantastic angles. My eyes are on Sparker. What is Sparker going to do? The Soldier 76 flanks in stage 1 were absolutely crazy. And what can he really get done here with the Sojourn as well? Even more mobility.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, there's only one person I'm looking at right now, and that's Hardy, and his opponent, someone in the mirror. And will they end up going the mirror? It didn't work out on Li Xiang. control center, and it didn't work out when they even tried to then flip the script a little bit and run the Pharah. It's a tough call for the Florida Mayhem right now, and this isn't really a map. You can play the Winston. We've seen things like Doomfist, of course, from like London Owls, but it's definitely a map that London are very comfortable with, like very comfortable. Yep. Xe has been performing pretty well, like on the Widowmaker, on the Sojourn, he's staying in. His Arnamo is back, so, you know, signs do point to Rush once again. Do they want to run something a little bit different? Maybe go for some really crazy, like, super aggressive dive to try and kill the London Spitfire backline? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but there is a possibility for the Mayhem to bring this to a map 5. Let's have a look at some checkmate stats on Watchpoint Gibraltar. He was putting in some bad numbers, Rose, actually. He was just permanently in the kill feed for the Mayhem.
Yeah, and this is where Mayhem have looked best the entirety of this series, and they finally started to put all the pieces together on Gibraltar when Checkmate could play the Tracer alongside someone's Winston, and of course having Xe to kind of round out that big dive with the follow-up damage from the Widowmaker, or even kind of engaging for the dive with some of that damage. And so Checkmate definitely able to go in, clean up things really fast, generating those pulse bombs very quickly as well. So definitely finding tons and tons of value. But is that going to be doable on Colosseo when you know you're going to be playing against the Rush flavor from the London Spitfire? You have the Lucio that will be able to help keep your backline more mobile, more agile, and that Tracer may be less effective playing against a backline like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is true. That is very true. It's just tough. I don't know, man. It's just tough. You know, when London Spitfire get their chance to choose a map, they'll choose a map they can play Rush on.
Absolutely.
We'll see if Mayhem can come up big. I mean, a lot of it is down to the way the May plays on top of like the Reinhardt and whatnot. Those walls can be just ridiculously impactful, either separating the Rhine or maybe separating the supports, maybe even separating the May. Just separating someone to then find a quick kill is always imperative. But the issue I think the Florida Mayhem ran across on Lijiang Tower when they played the Rush mirror was they were getting forced to use things like Lamp, things like Wall, things like Ice Block, like super early. And it was an extremely tough battle when the enemy team has those cooldowns and you don't. And in fact, we're not even seeing the Rush from the Mayhem, and I think that's a smart move. Going for a little bit more of an aggressive dive with the Genji, with the Winston.
I agree. This is definitely what the Florida... I don't trust the Rush mirror for any team in London Spitfire. I always get a little defeated in my own head when I look at that and go, I don't know about this one. Feel free to prove me wrong. But this is a great start here for Mayhem, getting that big pick on a Sparker.
Yeah, another fantastic pick from Xe. I would love to know how many times Xe has found like the first blood in a fight. Because it has got to be 9 times out of 10 for the Mayhem right now. Almost kills Admiral in the sky. In fact, does. Finishes him off just with the left click. And now Backbone's in trouble. Triple kill for the Sojourn. Make that a quad. No. Rufel takes it away. The Mayhem, once again, off the back of Xe's initial pick, do find the win in the team fight.
Excellent stuff. I mean, this is the problem that we had before, where we were seeing Xe maybe get some of those initial picks, but then not enough follow-up coming through from the rest of the Mayhem to be able to make that pick worth it.
Oh, what a wall.
Ooh, huge wall!
That was a really big wall. Stopped Xe from sliding off. Huddy ends up helping get the kill. Admiral kills someone. Didn't even need their tank player, apparently. Sparker did end up going down. However, with the bot in control on Spitfire, this should be good. That was an extremely intelligent wall. Had a very good stagger kill onto Rufel.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that stagger pick was big, but man, like, this is why we tout Backbone as one of the best Mays in the league. It's because of some of this heads-up play when you look at, well, yeah, I could use my wall. Here's the range that it has, and perfect execution and reaction to just making sure that you're able to get that pick. RuPaul does have the nano ready to go to someone to start this dive.
He's already pretty low. Nano does heal you up, luckily, so you can just... Oh, there you go. Oh, nice boot from Admiral. Booted him back, so he hit his head, and he's stunned. Oh, goodbye. Nice pin, easy kill. that window stops Florida Mayhem from aggressing and using that Nano Winston for space. London Spitfire dealt with that perfect.
Well, I mean, London, they've played against so many different teams that like to use this more aggressive Winston style. And as the team that runs this rush, you know that they know the intricacies of how they can utilize the things in their kit to really give them favors in these matches.
XZ coming up big over and over again with the railgun. It does get cleaned up, but killing the Lucio in the rush comp, pretty good. London don't even take the lead. Well, they take the lead off of that not by a whole lot. Florida Mayhem have only got a couple of meters before they end up flipping the script there.
Yeah, they should be able to flip this before I think London will be able to get back.
Nope, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd back off too if I knew that Sparker. If I was keeping track, that Sparker had an overclock.
No heals. No heals. RuPaul and Animo were completely LOS by someone's positioning. Perfect shadow, and solo shadows like that are good. Like you normally like, oh, 2-man water shadow, whatever. But do you get a Winston or someone off on the sidelines that can't get healed? Even a bit, Animo, even if he invested the B in that situation, that would have gone to waste. Like, good luck getting it around that corner.
Yeah, well, why is the rest of Mayhem playing so far back then, and out of LOS for the Winston? Like there was a good amount of distance between the backline and some
Blade engage. The Blizzard comes out, defensively used from the London Spitfire. They ended up burning a lamp in that situation, but Blizzard for Blade, not the worst. Beat for the Florida Mayhem now. Admiral's a couple of percentage points away from his, so London Spitfire end up backing up. Oh, the beat doesn't quite hit Sparker, who gets juggled in the backline. Now someone trying to isolate the support with this Primal has got Lantern in the skies, and now a clear shot for Exi onto Admiral. Nice work by someone.
Yeah, see, that's why I like it when sometimes you do see someone get really aggressive into the backline and start kind of bullying the Sojourn, the Ana, whatever, Baptiste that's in the back. It works out sometimes for someone and something, but
it is very Nano boost, jump in. There's the window. Someone's health bar disappearing right before your eyes. Couldn't do much of anything there. Didn't get frozen, but slowed for long enough for him to get extinguished. Good headshot by Sparker there. The Mayhem, however, they do end up getting the lead by about 20 meters. So now London Spitfire have to escort the bat all the way back.
Yeah, but London's starting to work up to things that will be able to get them there. I think Florida as well are on the clock to try to race Hottie's Earthshatter. You've got the overclock from Xe. Hopefully that's going to be able to do them some favors. And then also you're looking at Checkmate's Blade to not get countered by the Blizzard this time and also be the decisive fight winner that we know that those Dragon Blades can be.
What an annoying position for Backbone to be in. Almost double taps Animo, in fact, yep. Triple taps him instead, that'll do. Losing a Lucio's not great because now Admiral can run you down. Xe trying to take care of that problem himself, but is met by Sparker on the other end of it. Luckily, RuPaul and Checkmate on the high ground were able to kill off Backbone. And London Spitfire lose control of the bot again. Florida Mayhem now with a Blade and almost a Primal Rage coming up. London Spitfire unable to gain any meterage on the bot push there.
They don't get any to try to match what Mayhem did, but they did push the bot far enough that they get to come back with all the ultimates in the world, or just into the loving arms of Hottie.
Couple of swings, no. Primal Rage Force, not bad though. Kind of take those ultimates where you can. Now they just have to deal with him. Now he turns into a giant ult battery. But a giant ult battery for RuPaul too. Another pick by Xe to start off the fight. Is this what you want to see? There's the pin from Hardy, goes wide this time, but Backbone on the flank once again takes care of one of the supports. Can London Spitfire come on top of this engagement? Looks like it for the time being, as someone and Checkmate go down to the large swing and hammer of Hardy, as the bot has been stolen by Backbone. He is just a menace right now. He is a menace on the May. Like, not only seeing the bot, solo Blizzard in the backline, the Florida Mayhem, they lose control of the bot, it walks all the way back to their side of the map.
Well, I mean, look at this. You know, Animo could just go ahead and taxi Hottie back to the bots. And so we were worried a bit about them getting some progress. Well, here's a great way for them to start making that up. They forced out ultimates for the Florida Mayhem. Get to come back in with an overclock and a beat. And also a window if they want it.
Nano Blade, though. Nano Blade or just Nano onto the Winston. We'll see what ends up going down. Sparker using that overclock, trying to peek and hunt for things. The Nano, the Blade. Sparker's life obliterated. Now the London Spitfire have to use ult to try and see them through this fight. A very late B for the Mayhem, but the Blade already did the work for them. London Spitfire lose a fight in the same position for the third time in a row, just unable to push that bot any further. Well, I guess they got an extra 5 meters, but no way near the 62 that the Florida Mayhem currently have. And with 2 minutes to go, the time bank be dwindling.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, Xy's coming up on another overclock as well. That's a great zoning tool, even if it isn't going to be enough to get some picks. You hear that voice line, Joss. I feel like you back up. You go hide somewhere. You don't want to get one-tapped by the Sojourn. But Hottie's already back in here. You know that he's got the Earth Shatter ready to go, but look at Xy poised and ready to, with this overclock coming online post-haste.
Oh. Doesn't quite find the pick. There's another solo shatter onto someone and a perfect shield from Hardy to stop someone getting healed. Window was used by Landon. They're doing the same kind of combos over and over again, just denying as much space as possible. Peak anti-nade by RuPaul. Can anybody clean that up? Okay, Landon does actually end up going down. There's another kill by Checkmate, another dash reset, and London Spitfire once again unable to really move the bot. That was an unbelievable hero nade from RuPaul there to save them.
Woo! Yes, it was. And sometimes those hero moments can work for Florida Mayhem as long as it's getting communicated and the team can go in and actually capitalize on it. But as it stands, we've kind of been in this checkmate sort of situation where who's going to be able to actually get control of this as we enter into sub 1 minute territory, and Florida Mayhem are in the lead.
Yeah, Mayhem don't really feel any pressure at all to try and push this bot. They can very much just fight in the neutral, fight on a ground that suits them. Overclock available. Xy's just going to pop it. The Blizzard comes out. Xy gets a collapse, but doesn't find the kills. He gets frozen. Got a little bit greedy there, trying to clean on up, and was just sat in the Blizzard. A Lamp isn't going to survive long. Not against Checkmate. Building up towards the Blade as he's just nanoed. There's 20 seconds to go, and the Florida Mayhem on London's map pick might end up taking this one. They don't even need to push the bot, and it doesn't look like they're going to. Oh, well, tell a lie. In fact, Animo is going to try and escort it for a little bit, but no, they're just going to push past it to stop London Spitfire from touching. There's 4 seconds and counting. Someone's got to touch. A slam's already come out, but they're not going to be able to get there in time. On London's map pick, Florida Mayhem bring it to a map 5.
They've been looking better and better over the course of this series, though. Jaws, I mean, even just looking at how much better Florida Mayhem played together as a team on Gibraltar, and then seeing how they played smart on Colosseo as well. I love that you called out that they were just kind of playing on their own terms, because it wasn't all about the aggressive go, go, go from someone to try to push the payload at all. They recognized we've got control, we have the lead, we just need to make sure that they don't touch the bot. That's it. They didn't overcommit, and they didn't also try to over-execute.
All right, Florida Mayhem just they're turning a new leaf. Xy picking up just first blood after first blood, just getting these initial picks, and they're able to capitalize on them and playing to their win condition. Not overextending, like you said, Rose. They're looking good. We're going to a map number 5 right after this break. You're not going to want to miss it. Map number 5, and maybe a reverse sweep for the Florida Mayhem as they take Colosseo. London's map pick, mind you, Rose. Out on a map, they're very strong. Like the Rhine comp, the Rush comp, like you'd expect London to win that one 9 times out of 10. But surveys ended up saying, well, actually, Mayhem, off the back of Xe more often than not, finding those initial picks and playing to their win condition perfectly.
Yeah, that win condition oftentimes being just Xe maybe getting an opening pick and then the follow-up coming through from Florida Mayhem to be able to turn that one pick into a team fight win. And it wasn't even a flashy game either. Neither side got to the first checkpoint, but they didn't have to. Because for Florida, it was about just controlling the game and controlling the tempo of these team fights. And that's something that they did incredibly well on Colosseo, and they have just looked better and better as the series has progressed. But we are about to head into the 5th and final map of the series.
We are going to Oasis, which is again London's map pick. So here we go. And well, to be fair, another map you can play the Rush on, but maybe London Spitfire want to pivot towards the Winston. They can do that still, even with the Lucio, which is what Admiral's probably going to play.
Yeah, with Admiral on the roster, you're expecting to see the Lucio for sure, and then really it's Landon that ends up playing a bit more flexibly to be able to lend itself to the rest of the team's composition and then also just the map that we are on. Curious that we're starting to see the compositions already. I believe Florida Mayhem's a little bit more, that's what they're going to be stepping out of spawn with. Obviously, quick Symmetra teleporter and then go back over to the Tracer and just kind of continue to play this dive moment that we've been seeing from Florida Mayhem. But it's London that I think is the different, well, it's obviously the different one. You've got the Lucio and the Moira here, which speaks to me that London's about to try to hit them really fast with the dive. So they've got to go fast, they've got to find value.
They actually get a big value hack on the Mega Health back there. So Mayhem don't really want to fight that. There's basically another healer with you if you fight in that location. So Mayhem realize that, back away. Just put themselves on the point. However, Hardy can just perma-juggle the point if he really needs to. Capitalizing off those hacks, like you were saying, Rose is going to be key, but look who's in the kill feed again for the Mayhem. Xe finds another pick, and it's a big one. Landon going down is disastrous, and Backbone now taking a nap. 3, 2, 1. Gets the Translocator somehow off, but still, didn't matter. London Spitfire with 2 people in the bin. End up going down, the Mayhem find the cap.
Yeah, look at how far forward Xe can play as well, just to continue to charge up these shots. Hardy's just a huge battery right now for this, and that would have been such a big pick if Xe had been able to land that shot with all of that charge.
Ooh, okay, Backbone still getting checked. Oh. No, would you look at that? Another first pick for Xe. Okay, Mayhem coming out rather big. Like, this is completely the opposite of what happened in the first map. Like, full 180, brand new day kind of team.
Yes, it is. I mean, let's look back at that first map, shall we? Florida Mayhem, some of these players using ultimates after the fight had already been lost, hoping that they were going to be enough of a difference maker to keep their team in this one. But I think that's almost underestimating their opponents, the London Spitfire. London, though, they are playing for this EMP to be able to get themselves back into this first round.
Checkmate do be checking. Sparker. Pulse Bomb gets thrown out. Get damage, but not a kill. Hardy is rather strong with that overhealth from the shields, but he does kill Animo. He has got mines, but someone and Checkmate once again just forcing the London Spitfire to fight on their terms. 70% for Mayhem. And they've got 2 DPS ults. They got the beat coming up. Like London Spitfire, they haven't even earned themselves a coalescence yet.
No, that's the thing that is such a stark contrast to me. Is, okay, they've got the mines, but you expect Hardy at this point to be putting in enough damage. Admiral and Landon have been perma in spawn. But yeah, it's been bad. It's been so bad so far, and that just speaks to the level of control Florida Mayhem right now on this situation.
Manual hack onto someone. EMP available for London Spitfire. They might want to use it to just erase the beat, especially with someone going down. They do end up finding the flip. Mayhem are okay with this and just back it away. They don't want to use ults. They want to force London Spitfire to do so. But now London, they could shift the tempo pretty easily. If they didn't win that fight, it would have been over. But they now have double support. They've got Pulse and EMP.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff to sit here. Just going in with the EMP now.
Nice. Easy game. 5-man EMP. Checkmate still finds a kill with a Pulse Bomb. Yeah, it's 4v1. Ain't gonna happen, son.
Yeah. It was a Wrecking Ball too. You hope you're able to land a stick onto a Wrecking Ball.
They are pretty quick.
So,
I will say that. I'm trying to defend my own Tracer. They are pretty quick.
No, they're very fast, that's for sure. But it just means also that Hardy's able to get back to the point very quickly, so you're not seeing that really translate over to the value you wish that would have had. Someone, though, has switched over to the Doom Fist. So we've got some one-punch potential now on the board, huh?
All right, double beat. Sparker checked already. Sparker trying to set up for a Pulse. Had to hit that recall by the looks of it. As London Spitfire just happy just to contest the payload point for as much as possible. There's the beat. Florida Mayhem not satisfied with London's positioning. And then the Coalescence on top. Double support ultimate used from the London Spitfire, but Admiral's already dead. London Spitfire's health bars are just falling. What happened to Landon's ultimate? Did he get punched out? I'm not sure. The London Spitfire just collapsed. Double support ultimate meant nothing. The Florida Mayhem recapped the point. And now 1 round away from reverse sweeping London Spitfire and sending them home.
They are getting closer. They are getting closer, and they have earned this. You know, this series overall has been such a wonderful evolution of the Mayhem to watch, where they struggled a lot in those first 2 maps, and then something started to click for them. Maybe it was the halftime break. Maybe they all got snacks or something. I don't know. But let's watch this Coalescence, because I had questions about this too, but you see the Coalescence here, and then, yep.
It did get a thought, though.
Someone.
The Moira is so tough to play against the Doom. The cooldowns are just so fast. Okay.
Yeah, it's easy to get off kilter with that, for sure.
This is London's comp right here. Maybe not with the Moira, but they're running it anyway. They just want to go fast. Got Hardy back on the Ryan.
It's not a bad call when you know that there's not a Doomfist on the other side. You know, but it is usually Sparker that plays the Sombra here.
2 HP. Oh, he's good.
Oh my god. He's got a dream though.
Luckily. Might turn into a nightmare if they're not careful. They're already 1 round away from going home. Oh, nice little 3 clip here on RuPaul. RuPaul diving and dodging. That's just to get out. Forces the recall. And Hardy ends up falling. Oh my god, what is this London right now? After like a fantastic 2 days in upper bracket round 1 and against the Shock in the upper bracket quarterfinals. This is very uncharacteristic, but this is all Mayhem. Like,
yeah,
you got to think back to when they last played. They last played against Outlaws. They got 3-0'd. Like, it wasn't a super close series, but this is a completely different team we're looking at right now. Even from the start of this series, to be fair, Rose.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a huge evolution for the Mayhem. They look like a completely different team right now. But if you're a Mayhem fan, you are very, very happy about that. Xe has high ground control, and look at how well he's keeping the support line in check for Spitfire. Hottie has no support in the front line.
He was going pretty low and had to back off. The Mayhem still control the point and can juggle it if they really need to. Someone closer to that Primal Rage. Nano online for RuPaul in a couple of percent. Sparker eventually trying to check Xe, but he's at 100 energy. 1 little body shot now might end Sparker's life. He does end up going for it and whiffing, but now the blade from Checkmate is good. A beautiful nano blade, in fact, chasing straight after Landon. A triple kill for the Genji. Almost made that a 5k, but Backbone zipped back just in time. And the Florida Mayhem have ults to boot.
Good to see you.
This is a great rotation for Mayhem. This is phenomenal. They have ways to be able to deal with the EMP. And while Backbone has this EMP online faster than that round number 1, it's an Animo sound barrier that could just completely save Mayhem here and push this over the edge for them to take this series win.
Shatter, whiffs. Overclock coming in as overtime is approaching soon. Admiral's high in the sky, gets the boop onto Xe, but just sends him down to low ground. Now Landon has to come up with this coalescence, but Sparker's already dead. A trade 1-for-1 as the coal comes out rather late. Someone's primal raging. The Hardy on to the wall as London do find the flip. Admiral even committing the beat. It does hit 4 and the Florida Mayhem have a beat of their own. But maybe they just hold on for the next fight. Looks like they're going to, as the Spitfire refuse to go down without a fight.
Look at this. Sparker's actually going to switch over to the Sojourn. Looking at that as a bit more damage output than the Tracer has been able to provide so far. Hopefully that is going to be what gets them to get up to that 99, bring us into a 3rd round. I want to see this go all the way, but Florida still haven't used a sound barrier. I love that you point that out, because now they get to go in aggressive with this if they want to.
Hack onto Xe, still gets the beat though, so he's good. Sparker changed over to the Sojourn, but now is going straight back to Spawn. Might need to be Tracer. RuPaul kills 2. The London Spitfire quivering right now. They need to touch. The Florida Mayhem are going to find this flip. And in fact, they're going to chase the London Spitfire all the way to their spawn. Admiral is dead. Overtime ticks down and the Mayhem come up huge. A massive reverse sweep to see them to the lower bracket round 2.
Woo! Mayhem! Holy moly. And that's called the Midseason Madness, but like, I kind of like the sound of the Midseason Mayhem. That's not bad. That's not bad. The alliteration's still there, right?
I mean, it's close. It's close. It's been pandemonium, honestly. The Florida Mayhem come up massive. A reverse sweep off an extremely hot London Spitfire, taking a map off the Shock, looking fantastic against the rain. And the Florida Mayhem keep their hopes and dreams alive in this tournament after what was an extremely cold day 1 against Houston Outlaws. Like, this is a Florida Mayhem I did not expect to see here today, but I'm so happy that we're seeing it. I mean, their next opponent is either the Dallas Fuel or the Philadelphia Fusion, which is another match later on today, Rose. Oh, wow, what a way to start off day number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Holy moly. I mean, I remember even just at the top of the series, I think you and I were both expecting that yeah. London Spitfire, they look really hot. Florida Mayhem, they've looked bad. They haven't had a single map win yet in the Midseason Madness Tournament, and yet here we are, a 5-mapper showing us all of the different sides that Florida Mayhem has to offer. But there's one player, Jaws, I feel like stood above the rest, and that was Exy.
Oh yeah, player of the match is definitely going to be Exy. The amount of picks he found to open up these fights for the Florida Mayhem was insane. Like every single time a fight started, he had already killed somebody. And yeah, maybe it didn't work out in the first couple of maps, but on Colosseo, like, helped them win more often than not. They played around that win condition. Look, we've got the lead. We can just play back, wait for Exy to get a pick, and then we can win these team fights. Like, what a standout performance today.
Absolutely. I mean, Exy is still one of the best Sojourn in the league. That's 60% railgun accuracy. Man, Jaws, what is it about the Midseason Madness Tournament that we have seen Sojourns hit like 55% plus accuracy on these railguns? It's just super impressive when you see numbers like this.
Yeah, I mean, he is just a beast. He took that small break, of course, and then came in late to the Florida Mayhem this season, but he slotted right in. And he's been looking real good. Him and Hydron, unbelievable Sojourn players. And, you know, the Florida Mayhem, yeah, they may have got 0 maps on day number 1 of the tournament, but they come back with 3 now, knock London out, and they go on to the next round, Rose.
They do. They still have a tough opponent ahead, as you pointed out. There's 2 pretty heavy hitters, I feel like, that could be waiting for them when they have their matchup determined. But what a great start to the day, and I know we have so much more Overwatch to show everybody.
Yes, we do. Toronto Defiant and the Houston Outlaws are playing next. It's going to be a nail-biter. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Game Break, everybody. So I had a hard time deciding who I wanted to talk to for the post-match interview, and so I said, hey, I want both XC and someone. So we got both of them here from the Florida Mayhem. Guys, congratulations on the win. How are you guys feeling right now? 일단 오늘 인터뷰를 이제 제가 좀 생각을 하면서 이거 한 명을 고르기는 너무 힘들다. 너무나도 좋은 경기여서 그래서 두 분을 이렇게 모셨는데요. 오늘 지금 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요, 일단.
저희가 이제 2대0으로 뒤쳐진 적이 있었지만 저희는 이제 이게 떨어지면 이번 스테이지는 끝이기 때문에 마인드로 이제 무조건 이겨보자라고 하면서 이제 지브롤터부터 열심히 했지만 그게 잘 돼가지고 이제 오아시스까지 오게 되면서 역습을 한 것 같습니다.
I mean, the first two maps we were really losing, and up until that point, you know, we really didn't get our hopes up, and we were like, let's just concentrate. And I think it was from Gibraltar where we said, hey, we should really focus up and try to really win this game because if we don't, then we're out. So that really kept us going, and you know, I think that mentality helped us go all the way through Oasis and for us to get the win for today's match. All right, XA, how about you? How are you feeling right now?
저는 일단 저희가 하와이 진출 확정전이 보스턴전이었는데 그때도 저희가 패패승승승으로 역수입으로 이겼거든요. 그때도 MVP를 먹고 이번에도 패패승승승으로 MVP 먹은 거 보면 일단 그 보스턴의 덕이 아닌가 그렇게 생각합니다.
Right. I mean, coming for the qualifier matches, I think how we got into the tournament was when we beat the Boston Uprising. We reverse swept them, just like we did London Spitfire today. It was loss, win, and it sort of repeated the same thing for today. So it just got me thinking. You know, at that time I got the MVP. I got MVP today as well, and I think I just want to say thank you to Boston. All right. Okay, next question. I think I'm just gonna, you know what, ask both of you guys. So your next match, because of this win, you guys are going to be facing off against either Dallas Fuel or Philadelphia Fusion. Who do you want to meet in your next match? 자, 다음 경기가 오늘 승리로 인해서 이제 필피오 아니면 달라스와의 경기가 있을 텐데요. 어떻게 두 분은 누가 이겼으면 좋을 것 같나요? 그리고 또 누구랑 또 경기를 펼치고 싶으신가요? 일단 let's go with someone.
네. 저는 댈러스가 이기고 저희랑 만났으면 좋겠습니다. 그 이유는 저희가 이제 작년이 아니라 저번 달 댈러스 매치 때 댈러스한테 져가지고 저희가 떨어졌거든요. 근데 이제 지금도 딱 그 똑같은 상황이기 때문에 이겨가지고 복수하고 싶습니다.
Last time, I think I really want the Dallas Fuel to win, and I want to see them in the next match because last time we played, we lost against them, and that's how we got disqualified. So I want that revenge against the Dallas Fuel. All right, XE, how about you?
저도 당연히 댈러스가 이겼으면 좋겠고 일단 이유는 4-5년 동안 이제 같이 함께해온 감독님이 댈러스에 계시고 저는 그 감독님의 실력을 믿기 때문에 댈러스가 이길 거라 생각하고 댈러스랑 또 제가 젤러스 출신이니까 댈러스가 올라와서 저한테 좀 두드러 맞았으면 하는 생각이 있어서 네, 댈러스가 이겼으면 좋겠습니다.
I think I also think that the Dallas Fuel is going to win because you know, they're a great team, and not only that, their coach in that team, I have spent 4 to 5 years training with him, and also they're a really great team. So I do believe that the Dallas Fuel are all going to win, and also I really want them to come up because I've been part of the Dallas Fuel family, and so you know, now with the Florida Mayhem, I really want to, you know, I want to be the one to put them down to the ground. All right, XE and someone, thank you so much for the interview. And again, big congratulations on the win. 자, 오늘 승리 축하드리면서 인터뷰 마치도록 하겠습니다. 감사드리면서, all right, let's send things back to Ovally. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Danny. Guys, before we talk about that match of what just happened, let's talk about that interview. He wants to put Dallas into the ground.
That was aggressive wording.
I mean, listen, do you not trust Danny?
Oh, well, that's true. No, I wasn't judging Danny. I'm more saying XE is confident. You know, he did. You know, you might know he was supposed to play with the Dallas Fuel, but he had to retire due to personal injury, and now he's back to bury the Dallas Fuel, apparently.
I just like the idea of like Overly maybe not knowing that XE was supposed to be part of the Dallas Fuel. It's just like, why? Why would you want to put him in the ground? What? That's awful.
It's very aggressive. But I mean, listen, he can be aggressive because that game right there, that was our first 5 maps of the tournament so far, or of this week so far. It's the first reverse sweep that we've had. And it's potentially Backbone's first birthday loss.
Oh, so you had to throw that in there. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday. Unfortunately, 3-2 victory for Florida Mayhem. But Scott, as a Spitfire fan, it felt like they had it. What happened in that third game?
Yeah, I think all of us predicted the London Spitfire for this match, and we thought they had it. You know, in Lijiang Tower, it's a map that they're very comfortable in. They went over to that one. They played the rush composition. No answer from the Florida Mayhem, as a lot of us expected. The diff was there. The MTD was there from Hardy. And then, you know, it was like, oh, okay, you know, this is going to be very difficult for the Florida Mayhem to sort of overcome. We then went over to Eichenwalder, which it didn't, it was closer, but it still looked like the London Spitfire had the advantage in that dive matchup as well. So it was like, oh, okay, well, just feels like Florida's just going to fumble out of this one. But then when we get over to the watch point Gibraltar, they had that bad attack as well. They get caught on the second point, and you know, I was ready. I was putting my ears in. I was getting ready, sitting down.